Welcome to Season 2 of the Small Town, Big Dreams podcast. Hi, I'm Becky Waples, and this is the podcast that celebrates small town creators and shares their stories. Each week, we dive into each creator's journey, from their background to where they found their courage, from their challenges to their wins, where they found their inspiration to how they took their first step. I cannot wait to chat, laugh, and inspire the next small town creator with each of my guests. If you are inspired by small town creators who turn their big dreams into reality, then this is the podcast for you. Please rate and subscribe to all upcoming episodes. Please follow on Instagram and Facebook, and always feel free to leave a message or comment to let me know what you'd like to hear or who you'd like to hear from. This little passion project is turning into quite the adventure, and I'm so glad you've come along for the ride. Thank you from the bottom of this small town creator's big heart. Let's grow together. All right, let's get started. Okay, so Leah, thank you for joining me again today. This is exciting. Should I stay where you are right now, or do you want to tell us where you are right now?
Yeah, I am currently in Nosara in Costa Rica, and I've been here for the last 3 weeks. And I've been absolutely loving it. Did a solo trip for 1 month.
Have you ever done a solo trip before?
No, this is the first time. So I pulled the trigger on something scary and uncomfortable, and it's just been the most amazing experience.
That's awesome. I reached out to you today to come because I've already interviewed you before, but this is our second time interviewing you. And I don't really have a name for it yet, but I wanted to start a little mini series on why investing in your health is also investing in your business, like in your small business, or investing and how wealth creates wealth. So that's why I invited you back today.
Yeah, I think that's awesome because it's so true. And like, I actually see that. I see that in women that I work with. They say things like, my health is my wealth. But I mean, when I'm investing in my health, investing in myself, it's like a representation of that relationship with myself. And then I am like, being better in business and making more money. It's this like byproduct of investing in yourself. So it's really cool, like really, really cool.
Before we get into what you have created in March, because I'm going to post this before it's created, I want to know, what does health and wellness mean to you, and how investing in our health can help our wealth?
Yeah, I know what you mean. So part one of that question is, what does health and wealth mean to me? I mean, health has definitely, my definition of health has evolved over time. And to me now, where I am in my life, health means strength, vibrance. It means having confidence in my body to do whatever I want. Mm-hmm. Health is that sense of pride and confidence and comfort in my skin. And, to me, health is wealth. On a level, health is wealth. I find that, living in a healthy, able body, I'm able to experience more, get out of, just get more out of life. And wealth as well. I mean, to me, wealth is abundance. It doesn't have to be just financials, but wealth to me is abundance. Wealth is abundant relationships, and I'm not talking quantity, I'm talking quality relationships with people. And wealth to me is really knowing who you are and really understanding what drives you. I find wealth is that relationship with yourself, and also honoring your relationship with yourself. Wealth to me is also financial, right? And I mean, I've personally seen this in myself and a lot of my clients, but when you invest in yourself and your health, it has an effect on how you show up in your business. It has an effect on your energy. It has an effect on the attraction, right? It's like the law of attraction. And when you can show up, because I find that when you invest in yourself, it's almost like a representation of the relationship that you have with yourself. You're making good choices around your food, around your fitness. I mean, it's not about the food and the fitness. It's about how you value yourself. It's a representation of of your relationship with yourself. And when women start to value themselves again and prioritize themselves and make the choices that serve their body, like, holy shit, like, look out. Like, it takes them to the next level. And wealth grows as well. It's like this indirect byproduct. You make more money in your business when you just glow and you shine, and people just come to you. Like, they want what you're selling.
Yeah. I like what you said. When you have invest in your wealth, you have causes your body to do different things. And I totally agree with that. When you invest in your health, I think it boosts your self-esteem. You're willing to take different risks. I think when you invest in your health, you start seeing like, I can't control these cravings. What else can I control?
100%.
Yeah. And I really think you're a great person to interview first, because you preach this, you live this, you're helping other clients preach and live this as well. I'm really going for what you're selling.
Thank you. Yeah. The buy-in. You got the buy-in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We kind of discussed it, but you're on your first month-long trip to Costa Rica all by yourself. Has this always been a goal of yours?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
It hasn't been a goal of mine. What has been a goal of mine is being very intentional about designing the life that I want for myself, and really taking ownership of my own happiness, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to do that for me. Like, nobody's going to say, you know what you should do is go to Costa Rica because, it's in your heart. And, so I find that this is almost a representation of me being open to taking risks and me being open to new opportunities and getting outside of the, the day-to-day routine, right? It's, it's just a representation of what I want my life to have more of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I find we get so stuck in like the humdrum of, it's just like, it becomes almost mindless, right? And it can be so easy to get stuck in this very ho-hum life where everything is so predictable, and it can get boring, right? It gets boring. And I think that's what so many of us, and like me personally, is craving. It's just like, let's shake things up a bit, It's like, you can do and you can be whoever you want to be. So get out of your own way, girl, and just go for it. So this is what this trip represents. I made this decision back in the summertime. I'm like, it was a hot summer day. I'm like, man, like, I do not want to miss out on feeling this heat, feeling this way. I'm like, I am getting out of here. And I'm like, the only person that's holding me back is me. So like, get out of your way, girl, and like, book the damn trip. So I booked it, and I had my flights booked and like my Airbnb booked in 2 hours. Like, there was like no overthinking about it, because I think that that's where we get in our own way a lot. We start to paralyze ourselves from overthinking and like backing out of something because we say like, oh, I can't, or I shouldn't do that, or like, it's a whole month. Like, oh my gosh,
I think that it's really cool what you're doing. I was going to ask, was it impulsive, but you decided back in the summer and you booked it for February. Obviously, like, I don't know if you can see in the background, but it's snowing out. So good job just getting out of the snow.
Yeah, totally.
This must be like very self-discovery for you. Is there something that, like, what are you learning about yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm learning how to have more balance. I find, especially as a female entrepreneur, and I know that a lot of your listeners, they're entrepreneurs, and I think that it's so easy for us to just go all in on our business, and our mind is so consumed with business, and we use our rational thinking, and we're so logical, and like, so it's like, what do I got to get done today, right? And I think we often suppress that, like that impulsive or that emotional side of ourselves, of like just giving ourselves permission to loosen up a little bit and to really reevaluate. It's like, what am I doing this all for? Right? It's like, I'm creating this business, I'm making money. Like, to do what though? Like, what are you doing with it?
Just to work extra harder? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I found that along this journey, I've really been just like experiences and people and conversations, you know, you gain such a different perspective on things. And for me, it's really helped me just see where I can personally work on just giving myself permission to have a little bit more, just like have a little bit more fun and like live a little. Like that's what it is. Like live a little.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be so like, you know, robotic. Live a little bit.
And you are still working there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So when your clients
totally am.
Look what I did. Yeah. Look what you can do too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and I think that's like, that's a good point too, because you're right. Like I'm still working, I'm still doing all the things that I do, but in a different capacity. Yeah, a little bit more balance, a little bit more, play, work and play. Yeah. So that's what's going on.
I wanted to know, because with lots of my listeners going away this spring, including me, I'm going to Mexico in April, and I'm going to an all-inclusive resort just because it seems like the most cost-effective option. But I know that when I get there, there's lots of opportunities to drink margaritas. There's lots of opportunities to eat all the desserts on the buffet and overeat. And I wanted to know if you have strategies for my listeners, for me, to stay healthy, to stay on our goals when we are away this spring. When you are just in a new environment and you don't have your trusty like protein shakes beside you. What's some strategies?
Totally. Well, because you're sitting here in front of me, Becky, I'm going to talk about like directly to you, and then I know that our listeners will get something too. You know, really ask yourself, where do you feel like things slip through the cracks on a vacation? Because everybody's a little bit different. So, I mean, think about you personally, right? Like when you go away or when you've gone to an all-inclusive vacay in the past, I find that using your past experiences is really helpful because you get to say, where did I drop the ball? Like what becomes more of a challenge for me? So like I'm asking you, where do you find you drop the ball when you go on vacay?
I drop the ball on drinking.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep. And I don't want like a vodka soda when I'm drinking. I want like the slushy drinks, all the high sugar drinks.
Oh yeah.
And then I struggle like with dinner. Like I want the high fatty foods, all the pastas. Like, you know, they make the fresh pasta right in front of you. That's what I want to eat every day for lunch. Yeah.
For lunch too? Yep.
Yeah, drinking and the pasta in front of you meals are definitely... I'm not like a sweets person. And I always try to eat like a healthy... Well, I love an omelet bar. So I would eat the omelet bar.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so let's lean into the first one because I know a lot of people can relate to that one. So with the alcohol, I kind of like to go deeper in asking, is it worse drinking all those high sugar drinks? What's the consequence of that? How do you feel in your body, mentally, emotionally, physically? Is it worse sucking back a bunch of slushy drinks every single day just because they're part of the deal?
Exactly.
Because I find even with all-inclusive, we get into this mindset of like, oh, well, better take advantage. Like I paid for this, right? But it's like, what do you actually want? Like, does drinking a bunch of sugary, slushy drinks make you feel good? Do you feel like you got the best bang for your buck when you went, full tilt with the slushy drinks? So, like, and I'm asking you too, Becky, is it worth it?
So let's say then I'm in bed early, right? I'm not like spending the time with the people I went with. Now I'm hungover the next morning. I don't want to go sit on the beach. Like, no, it's not worth it. It's like a happy moment for like the next day of just hangover.
Yeah. So in that, it's kind of neat to, like in this example, it's kind of like highlighting the impulsiveness within all of us because we all have that. It's like, oh, high sugar drinks, like pretty little whatever pineapple thing on the side. Like, I want it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging and, giving that impulse some space. But there's also like, okay, what do I want to do here? Because there's an impulsiveness and I want it and it's fine and it's so good. But there's also like, I don't feel so great in a few hours, and I feel groggy, and I feel like I'm missing out on things, and like maybe I don't feel as comfortable in my bathing suit. So it's thinking about this stuff kind of like ahead of time and acknowledging both of them. And then you get to decide, because everybody's a little bit different too, right? Like some people are like, you know what? That's cool though. Like I want to keep rolling with the slushy drinks because maybe some mornings I'm okay with feeling groggy, but other people will be like, I don't, like, that's not cool. That doesn't jive with me anymore. I don't want to feel groggy all the time. So I find it's really helpful, like just having a little come to Jesus meeting with yourself about stuff like that. And you get to decide. Like you get to decide. And I shared this with a client the other day. I'm like, pick a number then. Pick a number of how many drinks that you feel you would be satisfied with, and honor that. Honor that alcoholic beverage, whatever, guideline for the day.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
I was going to say, last trip I went on, we went to Cuba last year, and I said I went on a completely different trip than everybody else because I had my two kids with me. So I was in bed every night at 9, and I wasn't drinking because I was having naps with them during the day. And it was like the best trip. I was up early in the morning. We were having the pool to ourselves.
Yeah.
And everyone else was like groggy, getting out of bed. People would come to find us at like lunchtime. And I was like, we have already done so much today.
Yeah.
I do think it might be a little bit easier for me. But I did read a quote this morning that said, I hope the person who is looking at your long-term goals makes your choices for you today.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be my new mantra.
Totally. So that's the kind of stuff that really makes you think. And that really is that's the basis of behavior change, is thinking about, and recognizing the impulsive side of you, but also the long-term gain, we'll say, and making the choice of, it's like, okay, what's it going to be? What's it going to be right now? And recognizing like you are uniquely you. So your choices, like it's all about what's best for you. So yeah, that's a great example around the alcohol. The other thing that I like to do on all-inclusive vacays is set myself up for success with hydration throughout the day. So if I don't have a slushy drink, or like, the other day I had a margarita, it was so worth it, loved it. But I also made sure that I had, a big thing of soda water with me, and like carrying around my big 1-liter water bottle with me too. So, having a drink in your hand, and having some, like, I always like asking the bartenders for like soda with a bunch of fresh lime or orange or grapefruit, because they've got all that stuff at the bar. Even with the slushy drink, right? You can say, I still want a slushy drink, but can you put soda water, maybe like a little bit of bar lime and a bunch of ice, and blend that stuff all together and put it in my little, like, whatever, like your big baba cup? They'll totally do that for you. So
I love that.
Having that as a backup. And then the dinners. Let's like switch gears here into dinners with the pasta bar. Why do you feel like your eyes directly go to pasta when you go into the dinner bar? Why do you think?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. It's just, I don't eat pasta at home very often. So I think I'm like, we're on vacation. Let's try something different. Yeah. And it's fresh made for you. I don't know. I think it's the theatrics of the making it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the experience of it. The pasta bar. It's like you watch all the ingredients go in. And yeah, you're right. There's, it's an experience. It's enjoyment from it. And it's different from home. And like you said, it's something that you don't have a lot. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that you get pulled towards that. And when you go to the pasta bar, I like to remind myself of like, yeah, I'm having this impulse for pasta, and I am loving what I'm seeing here, but it's also just taking a step. And I like to take inventory of what's there before making a choice. So before I even grab a plate, when you go into any buffet, just like, it's kind of like shopping. You want to go, like, think about you walking into the buffet and going shopping and actually looking at what's there versus just grabbing a plate and being like, oh yeah, I want this, I want this, I want this, because you get halfway down the buffet line, you're like, oh man, like my plate's full and I still want something like way down there that's like 6 feet down the table from me. So I like to go in with a mindset of like, I'm just going in here to shop. I'm going to look around, see what's totally worth it to me, and decide on the balance that I want for myself. And pasta bar, I like to think about, having a pasta with protein and adding in some veggies. The other thing that I find is helpful too is, like maybe you want a full plate of pasta. Amazing. You could totally do that. The other thing that you could do is instead of thinking of pasta as the main event on your plate, maybe you could think about it as the side event on your plate and go grab a little bit of salad on there, maybe like some roasted veg or something else that looks appealing to you. So it's, balancing it out. And again, you get to make that call.
Yeah. Now, I know you have to get going, but can you tell us about the Wealth and Wellness Summit that you are hosting in Collingwood in March?
Yeah, so this Wealth and Wellness Summit, it is during International Women's Week, and that was very intentional as well because women are pillars within our community. And I also find that, women are facing some health risks and they affect our well-being and our full potential. And having a event and having the space and the networking in the community and really helping women, take care of themselves and finding balance within their businesses and within their personal life, it just helps them absolutely shine and show up authentically in their personal and their professional life. We've got a killer lineup of speakers. There's going to be 9 of us there. Topics from, living your extraordinary life to learning more about your infradian rhythm. So it's how our brain chemistry changes through our menstrual cycle, learning around how to run our business like a woman versus a man. We've got, I've got a woman talking about body image and transforming our self-image and how to dress for our body shape and size and feeling comfortable and confident in our clothes. I've got women there talking around, I'm talking around nutrition mindset and balance within food and, finding a deeper understanding or learning or appreciating a deeper understanding around choices around food and fitness. And it's just going to be an incredible, inspiring, empowering event that's all around leveling up so that you can live a healthy, balanced, and abundant life, whatever that means to you, because that is unique to you. So yeah, it's happening Tuesday, March 5th. It's a full day event. Women's Wealth in Wellness, and it's happening at the Georgian Bay Hotel. So I've got more information on my website, leahvandolder.com/wealth in wellness. The ticket link is on there as well. But yeah, it's just going to be an amazing, badass event for high achieving, down to earth women that really value their health and care about having an impact.
I love it. I'll put all those links in the show notes. And I know you have an exciting life in Costa Rica. So I really, really appreciate you joining us for our first part of the series. And I'll probably bring you back for another part of the series.
Totally. Bring me on again. I love doing these with you. You're so great at these.
Oh, thank you very much, Leah.
Hey, listen up. Tamara here from the Clean It Club podcast interrupting. Sorry, not sorry. I just wanted to let you know that if you love this podcast, you might just love the Clean It Club as well. We are all about deep cleaning our lives from the inside out, digging those skeletons out of our closets and letting go of what no longer serves us. So roll up your sleeves, dust off those life lessons, and join me and my friends as we learn how to navigate our way to a life with more love, more laughter, and maybe less piles of laundry. Find the Clean It Club podcast on Spotify.